Hello everyone and welcome to GreenBiz Studio. My name's Jim Giles. I lead on the net zero work that we do here at GreenBiz, and I am super excited to have Tom Lewis with me. Tom is the Climate Resilience and Sustainability Executive Lead at WSP USA. Hey Tom.
Hi, good to see you.
Thank you. So we're going to be talking about some of the really exciting work that WSP USA is doing. And I know your organization has taken significant strides in its sustainability journey, and that you've taken an integrated approach to issues of sustainability, resilience, diversity, and equity. So tell us how that has informed your approach to working with clients on their sustainability journeys.
Yes, to be an authentic, credible, and effective advisor, you really need to be on the same journey as those that you're advising. As an example, our team has actually helped WSP develop its own science-based targets to reduce emissions by 2040 and become net zero. And so we personally understand the urgency, the difficulties, the challenges associated with meeting these kinds of targets as you really strive to make progress on this sustainability journey. So we can share that with our clients and with others in the industry and really around the world as part of associations that we belong to. And one of the real best practices that has directly led to my role, for example, is the connection between climate, resilience, sustainability, equity, because they all overlap and relate to each other. To truly optimize your response and your effectiveness, you need to bring them together and think of them holistically.
Right, I think that's a great way of looking at it. And let's take a step back now and look at the challenge more broadly. So one thing I think everyone has seen recently, and it's great, is that public and private sector organizations are increasingly making bold climate commitments. Tell us a bit, Tom, about how those organizations get started.
Yes, it's really exciting to see the ever-increasing progress and attention surrounding climate action and sustainability, including with COP26 Glasgow, Scotland, where for the first time they had a major worldwide conference where both sustainability and lowering greenhouse gas emissions and resilience were the focus. In fact, the high-level climate champions that helped put COP together really framed it in terms of races. So there's the race to zero, which is about getting to net zero and lowering your emissions. And then there's the race to resilience, which is how to be better prepared, to be better able to quickly and in a less costly way react after a major climate event. And really every organization can join these races at any time. It's just important to join the race and to get going and to start doing things one increment at a time. Every fraction counts. And that's what these races are all about.
Yeah, that is a great way of looking at it. And you know, talking about time framings, let's go back even further and look at another issue that I know you've been thinking about, and that's the need to reckon with the past, whether that's moving from net zero to net negative or incorporating equity into infrastructure adaptation. What do you see as the link between climate equity and a sustainability journey or building community resilience?
Yeah, one of the big things that's happening in climate change is the increasing intensity and frequency of storms, floods, wildfires. As a result, the old ways of doing things, looking at the past, things like the 500-year storm or the 100-year storm, don't work anymore because these storms are actually happening every year or two, or sometimes even every month or two in a few cases. So really, you have to look at what's going on now, the here and now, and also what's coming up into the future. When it comes to the storms, you have to think about the fact that they will be more intense, that they will be higher levels of floods. So you build your resilience and your climate adaptation measures accordingly. And in the case of equity, it's also about how rapidly the world has changed, and especially with vulnerable communities, because these communities are the ones that are most impacted by climate events and the least able to protect themselves and to quickly recover from them. So you really have to engage with the communities and really get their input and understand what they're all about and what their vulnerabilities are so that you can properly plan and protect them and recover faster. You can also do things like use nature-based solutions, which instead of building with stronger steel or thicker concrete, you can do things like use artificial reefs or natural reefs or sand dunes, other protections that really are more built into the landscape and also are easier to put back after a storm comes and maybe does some damage to them. They're easily replaced. And over their lifetime, they actually have a much better return on investment than building these strong steel and thicker concrete type structures.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. That's really interesting. So let's just close it out with one question, and I'll go back to your marathon analogy there, Tom. I think about that when I think about the time frame, and many leaders are seeing that marathon as ending in 2040 or 2050 and setting their targets accordingly. But you've talked about benefits and ROI that can come relatively quickly. Can you tell us more about this thinking and how you help clients realize early gains?
First of all, it's critical to do exactly that, to think in terms of early gains, because this climate crisis is upon us. There's no more time to tinker around the edges or wait for others to go first. We all have to jump in and start doing something. We have to take action. And so really you have to look at it as every fraction counts when it comes to lowering, the degrees of global warming, for example. And every time you do something that will help you live through an event, a flood or a fire or a storm with less impact, and recover faster, it actually has a big return on investment. So the business case for this is actually very strong. And so you really have to look at it in terms of that long-term result, that long-term benefit for spending a little bit more money now and acting now, because it really will pay for itself 4 or 5 times over its lifespan to take on these kinds of smart climate adaptations and resilience measures as an organization.
Great, thanks, Tom. So interesting to chat with you and to get these insights. Once again, my name's Jim Giles. I lead on Net Zero here at GreenBiz Group, and I've had the pleasure of talking with Tom Lewis, who is the Climate Resilience and Sustainability Executive Lead at WSP USA. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.